Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Today's January 14th, 2016. For the second day in a row, there are mainstream headlines about a terrorist bombing in a major city. Yesterday it was Istanbul, Turkey. Today it's Jakarta, Indonesia. So we're going to go through the details of this story. We're going to expose the hoax. And we're going to show how the blame, again, can be placed on the Freemasons, who rule this world by dividing and conquering. And through all these headlines, it's all about religious division, teaching people that Islam's dangerous, Islamic extremism, this radical element ISIS, out there putting the world's lives in jeopardy. All of this is false rhetoric for an agenda. The only real terrorists in this world are the people who are in Western governments and in presidential and prime minister positions that succumb to these Western government tyrants. So let's just go through a truth seeker. Today's date numerology of 51, the number of conspiracy. All these words have gematria of 51. Conspiracy, Freemasons, Starbucks. The bombing in Jakarta today is in front of a Starbucks. Starbucks the big way also sums to 114. What's today's date? January 14th, 1/14. So some nice alignment with Starbucks. Jakarta, Indonesia has gematria of 62, with the S exception 71. Yesterday's bombing in Istanbul happened in a location with 62 gematria. Remember, the word Mason equals 62. Jakarta, in simple English gematria, also sums to 62. The article brings up other recent bombings blamed on ISIS. The Paris attacks of Friday, November 13th, another Masonic tribute put on by the Freemasons in high places. This bombing that happened by the Starbucks in Jakarta took place across the street from the United Nations offices. No coincidence. The United Nations is a Masonic Zionist front. No doubt employees of the United Nations are responsible for what took place there today. The purposeful propaganda. The shopping center where the bombing occurred in front of the Starbucks having gematria of 113, the number of the hoax, mainstream, dishonest, green screen, all words with 113 gematria, numbers that get coded oh so often in the purposeful propaganda. In the Talmud, the Jewish holy text, Baba Kama 113a says a Jew may circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. A Gentile is someone who's not Jewish. Circumvent means, go around them, manipulate them however you need to. And that's exactly how they use their media. A media controlled by the Zionist Jews and the Freemasons. That's why we live in a world with the term anti-Semite. It's the only term that's out there to defend a group of people. There's no other phrase for like that if you call out any other group of people. If you say something bad about black people, there's no anti-Semite term. If you say something bad about Hispanics, there's no anti-Semite term. If you say something bad about Asians, there's no anti-Semite term. The reason we know anti-Semite is because we've all been brainwashed and ruled over by these Zionist Jews our whole lives. They create false sympathy through them, such as propaganda about the Holocaust, something that never happened. Meanwhile, we all live in our nation that's built on a genocide of the native people that we don't even care about. But we all have all this endless sympathy for the fake Jews who made up a tragedy, for their ongoing false agenda against Arabs, Middle Eastern people, established their Zionist state of Israel. People don't learn. Sheep. The street the bombing happened on has gematria of 38. That's the number of death. They said at least 2 people were killed. The street also has gematria of 62, like Jakarta, Indonesia, like Jakarta. Just like yesterday's location in Istanbul, Turkey. The first tweet in the media, this is from early this morning around midnight Western Pacific Standard Time. This tweet was up from Robert Arianto. Video of the Starbucks bombing, he says. His name in gematria sums to 74 like Masonic. Robert, a 33 name. The number of obsession for the Freemasons. Letting us know it happened by the Starbucks. Here's the gematria for Starbucks. It has a number of combinations because of the S's and K's in it. 24, 33, 42, 51. Very Masonic numbers. And then the big way, 114, just like January 14th, 1/14. For those of you who don't know, the name Starbucks comes from the book Moby Dick. The coffee chain was almost called Pequod Coffee instead of Starbucks. Pequod, another 33 word. Again, the number of obsession for the Freemasons. Yesterday's bombing in Istanbul, Turkey happened at 10:20 in the morning, the 620th minute of the day. Emphasis on the 62. It happened in a location with 62 gematria. Also, a word with 44 gematria, the kill number. Let's very quickly watch this bombing footage from Jakarta, supposedly earlier today. Notice on this TV screen in the background that fireworks go off at the same time the gray poof goes in the sky. The bombing in Istanbul had this gray poof yesterday, just like the Boston Marathon bombing. These are fake explosions like in Hollywood movies. Check this out, Truth Seeker, and also listen to the music that ABC puts on. Think about the programming within this music. Scary music, like you're watching a horror movie. This is ABC News right here. Go back one time in case you missed it, Truth Seeker. Watch those fireworks. Fireworks. They just have to put on these shows so they can put those words in front of your face. Act of terror, the constant reminders. Because there's no real threat, so they have to instill it with lie after lie. Starbucks in the shot, corporate advertising. The American sheeple, this probably makes them want to go out and buy even more Starbucks coffee because they don't have a fucking clue what's going on in this world.
I saw people running away and others lying on the ground bleeding. I also saw 2 people on a motorbike with a backpack, and they are the guys who threw the bomb.
So the death toll could rise, I think, but it really is, I've got to tell you, a very fluid situation now. This is not under control yet.
We should not be frightened by what has happened.
Freemason Truth Seeker right there.
Be under control.
So there was the ABC coverage. With regards to those poof explosions, it reminds of the Boston Marathon bombing. A lot of people still haven't figured out that that was deliberate propaganda. Boston Marathon bombing equals 93, just like propaganda. Remember, Dozikar Sarnaev was born in 93. This is his birthday right here, Truth Seeker, July 22nd, 1993, a date with 33 numerology. The attack took place in Massachusetts, one of only 3 states in the United States with a gematria of 33. Masonic numbers. The only other 2 states are the first and last, no others. Delaware equals 33, so does Hawaii. Just those 3. 333 states because this is a Masonic nation, planned out and executed by the numbers. In the same way these terror hoaxes are. So if you've never seen this video before, I've showed it several times on this channel. Please check this out. This is how they falsify the terror scenes. Well-oiled machine at this. Check this out, Truth Seeker.
Evening Express, weekdays 5 to 7 Eastern.
Well, this next story is very powerful, but I've got to warn you, the image are also very graphic. You're about to meet some incredibly brave people. They're amputees doing work only they can do, training men and women in uniform. Here's our Poppy Harlow. On this simulated battlefield, it's hard to determine what's real and what's not.
We call it hyper-realistic.
Kit Lavelle served in Vietnam and now runs strategic operations, a movie set turned training ground, preparing thousands of U.S. servicemen and women for combat.
Individuals who are going through the training here are
You see that, Truth Seeker? These are the same type of people that they had participate in the Boston Marathon bombing.
expecting to see an amputee. So the shock effect of seeing that happen is priceless.
The action.
You hear it? The shock effect from seeing that happen is priceless. I'm going to link this video down in the description if you want to watch the full thing, but it's just a bunch of those explosions, the gray poofs, and, realistic simulation. It's actually a lot better than the crap they give us on the news, which looks completely fake. But this is how they do it, Truth Seeker. Masonic leaders selling us out. I notice Indonesia's president is almost the same age as ours, too. Barrio. Wouldn't be surprised if these guys all came up together at a younger age to fulfill their future destiny as the tyrants they are, the deceivers they are for the nations they rule over. The world we're living out today was planned decades ago, Truth Seeker, so people don't understand. Living out a planned agenda. One propaganda story after the next, all centered around the number 33 every time. Alright, until next time.